Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Live at 5. Yes, this is at a different time to the last couple of weeks where I have been live at 8 o'clock, but I've taken the decision to come back to Live at 5 to try and fit in with some of your new working practices. And also, if I'm being really honest, it works slightly better for me as well. So if you are here watching live, then do give me a wave. Let me know in the comments that you are here. It would be lovely to see who is watching along with us. That would be absolutely fantastic. Tonight in this Live at 5, we are going to continue our journey through our safeguarding audit. And tonight, I particularly want to talk about your wider safeguarding, your wider policies and where they fit into the safeguarding arena. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kate Young and I'm the founder and CEO of the Safeguarding Association, and we work predominantly with designated safeguarding leads who are working with young people aged 15 plus, regardless of the sector. Let's have a look at what I mean by wider policies and why this is important. Your safeguarding policy should sit at the heart of everything you do. It should be the central document that sets out your reason, what you are doing, how you do it, which might be subject of a procedure document, but it should be effectively the beating heart of safeguarding within your organisation. It should be easy to read and the place to be. And if you want to know more about my thoughts on safeguarding policies, then take a look at the earlier video that we've done on this, or take a look at the blog on the website at safeguardingassociation.com. For me, safeguarding needs to sit at the heart of what you do. When it's at the heart of what you do, it makes your wider policies much easier to understand where they fit. But what do I mean by wider policies? Well, what I mean by wider policies is your behaviour policy, your security policy, maybe your attendance policy, all of those policies and procedures that make a school, youth group, organisation tick. The sort of thing that makes sure that you are doing everything you need to be doing in order to be compliant with legislation, to comply with what you need to do under keeping children safe, what you need to do under working together, what you need to do by way of law. That's what I'm talking about here. And what you don't want to have is a jarring of your wider policies with your safeguarding policy. There is nothing more frustrating as an auditor, as a chair, as a governor, as a trustee, than being faced with a situation, be it a complaint or an incident or something of that nature, and you have a conflict of policies. So, for example, you might have your safeguarding policy saying this is what you're going to do and this is how you're going to do it. However, the policy against which somebody is making a complaint doesn't run the same way. So, for example, think about your organisation's external space. Maybe you have a car park that is for use by staff and students or trainees or whoever. Your safeguarding policy is likely to say something along the lines of you are there to keep all children in the organisation safe. Your health and safety policy will say something along the lines of having to keep staff safe in the workplace. You might have a car parking policy that says who can park where, when, and whether there are allocated spaces or not. You might have spaces for students. Now, let's say, for example, you have a car parking policy that says that, or a car park policy rather, that says you will have a well-lit area, but there is no obligation for the lights to be turned on at a particular time. They will go on at 7 o'clock in the evening and they will turn off at 6 o'clock in the morning, for example. It might be that they're really short periods of time. And maybe that's just the way it goes all year round. And then you come into the winter months. We're coming into the mid-autumn now, and the nights are getting darker. So maybe your policy as car parking, as safeguarding lead, you have nothing to do with it whatsoever. But maybe you've noticed that actually these lights don't come on until 7 o'clock. And maybe you've just accepted that that's the way it is in your organisation. But then let's think, so maybe something happens in that car park, and maybe something happens to a student, and as such, they then make a formal complaint to the organisation that you haven't kept them safe in line with your safeguarding policy. And when you delve into this, you realise that actually the incident took place on the car park, the lights weren't on, therefore it was too dark for anybody to see, and thus it was easier for this incident to take place than would have otherwise been the case had the lights been on. This isn't as far-fetched as it sounds, because I see this happen all the time with different policies and different processes. They work in isolation rather than in harmony with each other. And as such, in that particular incident, you have a jarring then of what your car parking lighting arrangement is and what your safeguarding policy is. And as such, it then makes it difficult when you're trying to deal with a complaint as part of the senior leadership team, how you manage that situation. So for me, it's really important that you think about what your wider policies are doing and how they fit in with what it is you are trying to achieve with your organisation. What you're looking for is effectively a nice smooth orbit. If this is your safeguarding policy in the middle, think of all of your other policies as nicely orbiting around your safeguarding policy and process, so that everything flows together, everything works together, that yes, there will be different specifications for particular issues, but that ultimately all of your processes will follow together and make a coherent whole. You don't want to have a jarring of these. You want to make sure that they do work coherently and that they work in harmony rather than fighting against each other. If you've got any questions, then please leave them in the comments below. I will do my best to answer them. Otherwise, send me a direct message. If you're having particular difficulty with these and would like some more direct assistance, then send me a direct message and I'll let you know how you can work with me further. Until next week, have a safe evening and I will see you on Monday.